Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of the chairman of the Atlanta Regional Commission, Kerry Armstrong, as well as on behalf of our staff, we'd like to welcome you to the ARC offices and welcome to this historic occasion that we have for this event. The Top End, in many respects, represents one of the many main streets of our region. It connects diverse communities to bustling job centers, and it's the home of the baseball world champions. Go Braves. So the future of I-285 is critical to the future of our entire region, and the project we are here to formalize today through this MOU is an important step forward towards weaving together, through a series of transportation investments, a network of communities that make up the fabric of our North End. To get us started, I again would like to welcome you, but would more importantly like to invite Chris Tomlinson to the stage to give us some more details and background on this Top End MOU that we're about to enter into today.
I hope you guys will be able to pay some attention to me and not only the video, the conceptual rendering, but perhaps later on in the Q&A I can talk a little bit about this. But why we're here today, this is for all of us to get an idea, a concept when we talk about what transit and the possibilities could look like. So yes, please watch the video, but also if we can have your attention up here. So again, good morning and welcome. Again, I'm Chris Tomlinson. I'm the Executive Director for the Atlanta Region Transit Link Authority. And I want to start off by thanking Anna Roach and ARC for hosting this truly historic regional event. Now, the MOU that will be signed today represents the third phase of study regarding rapid transit options on I-285. This effort will build upon work initiated by a group referred to as the Top End Executive Committee, a consortium comprised of mayors and officials from 7 different cities, 4 different counties, and business representatives from 4 different community improvement districts throughout the region. These people came together and focused on and envisioned what a multi-jurisdictional, multi-operator regional rapid transit service could be. And the work that will be produced under the MOU that we're going to sign this morning will focus now on potential station planning and identifying locations in coordination with GDOT's planned express lanes along the top end of I-285, which is part of the state's major mobility investment program. Now, the top end express lanes will add 2 new barrier-separated express lanes in both directions, so a total of 4 lanes, 2 new lanes in each direction along I-285 from I-20 and 285 on the west side, all the way across the top, through 75, through 400, through 85, and coming back down south to I-20 on the east side. These new express lanes will not only provide new travel choices for toll-paying customers, but new options for transit, since public transit vehicles and registered van pools will have toll-free access to use these lanes to greatly improve transit times and allow for new high-capacity, wheel-based rapid transit service that collectively we're referring to as Express Lanes Transit. Now, the ATL, our partners at MARTA, our partners at GDOT, along with the consortium that I mentioned, have been working together to come up with an approach that will advance the design process and determine how multi-jurisdictional service would best be incorporated into the 285 express lanes, and then produce preliminary cost estimates for the building and operation of such service, so that information can be brought into GDOT's processes for consideration as we look at the express lane system. Through this effort, preliminary bus stations are expected to be completed, bus station plans, excuse me, are expected to be completed this year, and officials, again, from MARTA, the ATL Authority, the CAB, Fulton, Cobb, and Gwinnett counties have agreed to an MOU identifying up to $16 million in funds to continue this design for this top-end transit initiative, and gather key stakeholder input from a variety of parties. ARC, due to the regional significance of this project, and GDOT, due to the tie-ins with the Express Lane project, are also key strategic partners and signatories to this agreement. The work done under this agreement will be guided by a technical working group that will be comprised of transportation professionals from the signatory agencies, but equally, if not more important, a transportation policy advisory group. And that group will be made up of representatives, elected officials from the 4 counties and the cities along this top-end corridor. So they will be providing input and advisory services so that what we're doing as transportation professionals is fully informed by the needs of the counties and jurisdictions, and therefore the citizens that these folks serve. Some of the potential stations and station locations that we're considering include a station or station location at or near the Hamilton E. Holmes MARTA station. A station here could provide connections from Donald Lee Hollowell area to the H.E. Holmes MARTA station near I-20 and I-285 West in Fulton County. A Cumberland Parkway station providing connections to the Battery with Wellstar Hospital within walking distance in Cobb. A Cumberland Transit Center that would be approximately 3 to 5 minutes from the Cumberland Parkway station and approximately 9 to 11 minutes from the Roswell station, also in Cobb. A Roswell Road station, and at that location, we're looking at multiple locations are being considered. Somewhere at or near I-285 and moving slightly north towards City Springs, which is in the heart of Sandy Springs. This station would be approximately 9 to 11 minutes from the proposed Cumberland station and approximately 4 to 6 minutes from the proposed Perimeter station in Fulton. A Perimeter Center Parkway station, again, several locations are being looked at. However, preliminary modeling seems to suggest that the best location may be co-location with the Dunwoody MARTA rail station as being most advantageous for system ridership. There's several more. I'll touch on a few more and then I'll move on. But at North Shallowford Road in Georgetown, we're looking at a station there. Doraville Station, which will probably also be at the existing MARTA rail station. North Lake La Vista Road Station, which also could provide connectivity towards the proposed Doraville Station. And additional potential station locations traveling further south on I-285 on the east side, including potentially at Lawrenceville Highway, Memorial Drive, and potentially connectivity to the Indian Creek MARTA rail station in DeKalb County, as well as those that are already mentioned on the west side. I want to take this moment just to acknowledge the work that already is happening due to the elected officials on this project. When we first started talking about this project, we just talked about top end, but through conversations with the ATL, conversations with GDOT, being informed by the vision, and at times even the concerns raised by people such as CEO Thurman, Chair Cupid, coupled with the fact that the 285 express lanes now will come all the way south to 285, has allowed us to expand the potential footprint that we're looking to make sure we're more inclusive of even more of the metro Atlanta area. In summary, we know that our transit needs and commute patterns don't start or stop at various geographical, political, or current service area boundaries. Today's historic multi-county, multi-agency partnership transcends these boundaries for the collective benefit of all travelers in our region. With that, we will turn to the signing of the agreement, and then we'll hear from our signatories as to what this project means for them and their constituents.
It's official now. You know, as chair of one of the region's most vibrant and fastest growing counties, I'm always looking for ways to improve the quality of service to our citizens, to our businesses, and to our visitors. And this includes transit. And as we robustly discussed yesterday in a Board of Commissioners meeting, Cobb County is not on an island of itself. We are in a county that's in a region, and the better that we are as a region, the better we are as a county. And I'm grateful to know that Cobb County stepped up to the plate to be a part of this initiative, which will not only help Metro Atlanta, but will help Cobb County citizens. By coming together to address transit options, we are proactively addressing a need shared by all of us to tackle congestion head-on and to expand the transportation options available across our region. This MOU is a catalyst. It's a catalyst for what so many of us have desired to do individually within our counties, and it's a catalyst for what we desire to do within Cobb County to make ourselves a connected county so that everyone has opportunity, whether or not they have a car. Cobb, we've always been known for having excellent quality of life, incredible economic opportunities, world-class venues like the Battery. In Cobb, we want to know that as we have wonderful resources, that they match our potential, not only for what we have today, but for what we will continue to have in the future. And what you see on the screen here is an example of that. What's important to not only recognizing our opportunities is to recognize the potential destinations, not only in Cobb, but again in the region. We know that there are other job opportunities that our citizens access, there are educational opportunities, medical services, but also recreation and entertainment that's important to us. But in Cobb, the critical component are those that are utilizing our system today. Over 70% of our residents are utilizing transit to get to work and to get to school. So when we speak about transit, we're not just speaking about just this transportation mode. We're speaking about economic development. And our greatest economic development center in our region has been in the Cumberland area. And this project will directly connect the Cumberland region's economic development opportunities, again, to the rest of the county and to MARTA. And believe it or not, when people say, are you going to bring MARTA to Cobb? I have to tell people, MARTA's already in Cobb. MARTA has a number of routes that connect to our Cumberland transfer station, but MARTA is not just in the Cumberland area. It is also in the Six Flags area, and we connect people to the H.E. Holmes MARTA station. And I'm particularly grateful for your support, Chris, in helping to make that argument for us, as we know that having the project extend down to I-20 on the west side is going to connect not just what we typically know as the economic epicenter of our county, but also the Riverside epicenter, which is in the south end of the county. And to get there, guess what county we have to go through? Fulton. So you most certainly are not last nor least. But it just goes to show just how important it is that we recognize our strength and value as a region. And speaking about ourselves as a region takes nothing away from Cobb. And I'm hoping that all of our residents will see that through this project that we have here today. Before I close, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the mayors that are in this room. You made this possible for all of Cobb. It was your vision, your ingenuity that was able to transform how we looked at the Express Lane project. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize our Smyrna Mayor, Derek Norton, who is not here, but our Mayor Pro Tem, Tim Gould, is here, and I appreciate the work that your city has done in bringing Cobb to the table and letting us be a part of this conversation early on. I also want to thank my partners on the table to my right. This is not our first time connecting, so this was an easy one for us. And I particularly want to thank our chairwoman of Gwinnett County, who saw the value of this project. Even though this is not necessarily going to that county, our citizens, her citizens, Cobb citizens, we connect through the region. And making sure that we have connected transit is vital for us, again, not only as a county, but also as a region. So now, I wanted to share that we are all better for this. And the better we are as a region, the better Cobb County is. And I'm just grateful to be a part of this project and can't thank the many partners that are here today, the Atlanta Regional Commission, the ATL, and certainly the state and MARTA. And we look forward to working together to bring this project in fruition.
First, though, I just think I would be remiss, and it would be an extreme oversight if we did not acknowledge the man whose vision has led the regional development of this transportation network here in Atlanta, the man who's been an outstanding leader, not just for the ATL, but for the state of Georgia. Let's give Chris Tomlinson a round of applause. Thank you so much. He put up with me, and so we really do appreciate it, CEO and others. Thank you all so much. I believe in the not-too-distant future, when the history of metropolitan Atlanta and the history of the state of Georgia is written, this day, this morning, this event will stand out as a turning point, a pivot in the history of our region and of our state. Look around you in this room. Remember the people who are sitting here. Not just the people at this table, but as mentioned, as Chair Lady Cupid said, the mayors, the chamber, the CID leaders, all of these men and women coming together to invest in an idea, a vision, and a strategy that's going to transform metropolitan Atlanta. And I think that this energy and this spirit of cooperation will move forward, Ms. Roach, to help us address some other long-standing problems that we face as a region. And so I'm so proud of my ATL board members and proud of my MARTA board members, and heck, I'm just proud to be here with you all at this moment, embracing a common idea. And, you know, it's sad that we're in the 21st century, but it's unique that we now have come to recognize that we are all stronger and better together. Lastly, this, nearly half a century ago, when MARTA was first proposed here in the state of Georgia, and I like to brag on the people in DeKalb County that made my ability to stand here possible. There were men and women in DeKalb County half a century ago who rose above partisanship and race and class divisions to embrace an idea of mass transit in DeKalb County. When others were challenged, they saw the future and they embraced it. So the growth you're seeing in DeKalb County now, I wish we could take credit for it, but the fact is more than half a century ago, men and women saw that we were stronger and better together, and consequently DeKalb County and this region is benefiting from it. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for having the courage to embrace a common idea, a common vision, and a common hope for our future.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rob Pitts. I chair the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County, and in the words of many of you will know who this is, we used to say, how sweet it is, Jackie Gleason. And I really feel that way today. This is just another historic moment in the state of Georgia, but in this region in particular. And as I'm sitting there, actually, Mr. Tomlinson and Madam Chairwoman Cupid covered everything that I was going to say, so I left my remarks there on the table. But this moment, though, reminds me, and I've been around quite a while, and I'd like to also acknowledge our county manager, Mr. Anderson. Raise your hand, Dick, who is Ms. Roach's former boss. And thank you for hosting us today.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. But I'm reminded, and CEO Thurman mentioned this, back in the day when, you know, MARTA failed the first time around, we went back to work. Second time around, it passed by a very, very small margin. But for the people of Fulton County and the people of DeKalb County and the people of Atlanta, we wouldn't be here today. Let me be real clear about that. So that's one event. The second event, I happened to be there at the time, sitting at the right hand of the godfather of politics, probably local politics in the country, Maynard Jackson, when we made a decision to tear down the old terminal and build the new, what you all know as the 3 Bs, biggest, busiest, and the best airport in the world. This event today ranks along with those two. So those are the 3 events, in my judgment, which really speak to transportation in this region. Fulton County happens to be at the heart of this project, and this exciting event puts us on the road to alleviate congestion in our region. This work will help improve the competitiveness of our region for years to come by attracting and keeping our next generations focused on connectivity, on jobs, on people, and our region's future. So this truly is another historic day in our region.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, it truly is an exciting day, and as chair of the state's second most populous county, I like to brag on that. I truly am proud to be part of this historic day. The I-285 top end is a familiar corridor to our residents and businesses in Gwinnett County. And most of the goods and freight that travels through this corridor in our county traverses the span daily, every single day, including the freight traveling to points north of Gwinnett on I-85 and to other parts of Georgia and the southeast. The same is true for many of our residents who commute daily for work and school, as Chairwoman Cupid alluded to, and many more who visit major regional connectivity centers and activity centers in the perimeter and Cumberland areas. Today, Gwinnett County Transit operates multiple routes that provide connectivity to MARTA, Doraville Station, providing transit connections for those traveling to and from Gwinnett County. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize our DOT Director, Louis Cooksey, who is here today, and so proud to be able to work with him on many different fronts to promote mobility throughout the county and the region. Congestion on the perimeter directly affects congestion on I-85, and those who've traveled know that. The corridor in Gwinnett, particularly the busy stretch from Spaghetti Junction to Jimmy Carter Boulevard interchange. And even though the top end isn't within the Gwinnett County borders, it has a significant impact on our residents and our businesses. So it's a strategic, critical priority for us to participate in this project. And simply put, the I-285 top end is critical to the region, just as Gwinnett is critical to the region. And we're proud to collaborate and participate from a funding, policy, and technical standpoint. And I will say that bold projects like this take bold visionary leaders, and I'm so proud to work with this group of bold visionary leaders to bring this to fruition. Because when we all work together, we have the best opportunities to make life better for all of our residents throughout the region. So I look forward to the work that will be done under this multi-agency, multi-jurisdictional effort. I'm also excited by the possibility that the project will yield new, high-capacity express lane transit options for visitors and residents in our region. And we'll be able to use this real results of this project to inform and generate new options and ideas to enhance transit and transportation within our county. Our county's tagline is vibrantly connected, and I'm proud to partner with my fellow peers, our county leaders, our partners, to create additional vibrant connections for Gwinnett and all of Metro Atlanta. And I always say, a win for any of my metro counties is a win for Gwinnett and a win for the region. And a win for the region is a win for the state. So I thank you for inviting me to be a part of this effort. And thank you, Chris, for your bold visionary leadership. This is an amazing legacy to leave behind. So thank you all to the partners, and thank you to my peers.
I'd like to thank my staff for providing some speech for me to say, which I'm not going to look at all or follow at all. Because as I was sitting here, in this room, I hearken back to basically two questions in the late 2016. Question number one occurred in a regional meeting of Peachtree Gateway Partnerships, when the mayors of Northern DeKalb come together, and it was the meeting that ended, and so it was Doraville, Dunwoody, myself, and Eric Clarkson, Chambly. Meeting ended, and I go, hey, did you know about this 285, top end 285 project? And he goes, yeah. And I go, is there any transit? I thought there was transit in it. I don't see any transit. And he goes, I don't know anything about it. I'm like, huh. Well, I said, well, maybe we should, get a meeting up. He goes, yeah, get a meeting up. So we call Russell McMurray, GDOT, to come to another meeting. We all sat together and the second question came. I asked Russell McMurray, Russell, why has transit been dropped from top end 285? And he said, because there was no champion. And I said back to him, I'll solve that problem. And the mayors of of Smyrna, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody, Brookhaven, Chamblee, Doraville, and eventually followed with Frank Alman and Tucker, sat together and said, hey, we will champion transit. GDOT's already tearing up the roads, already causing all the headaches. Might as well co-build at the same time. Hey, we might get some land cheaper because of that at the time, instead of waiting this time. As he talked about, 50 years ago, people made those decisions. Can you imagine what it would cost to build what we have now, today? We couldn't do it. It's astronomical. So, as we always say, the best time to do transit was 50 years ago. You know what the second best time is? It's today. So, us mayors in our cities, and I commend all our city councils who supported this effort, who put money of the cities into this, and the CIDs of the Cumberland, Peach, Perimeter, Chamblee, Doraville, and Tucker Northlake, put in money to do 2 phases. Those 2 phases allowed us to say, hey, can we put heavy rail here? Could we put light rail here? What different modes could we do? And we did the heavy lifting. And you know, there was people like myself who wanted maybe a different mode of transportation. But it just didn't make economic sense. For the first time ever, the great thing about this project also, for the first time ever, GDOT money is being used for transit. How many years have we been saying, GDOT just builds roads, doesn't do transit? We're changing that today. I'm so proud to be here today. So proud to be here with my fellow elected officials who've taken this mantle up. And while we envisioned the top end, we never thought it was just the top end, because I knew that once we could solve our top end area, it was going to inform the rest. And when Michael Thurman and I were sitting in those DeKalb transit meetings, we said, hey, we can go all the way down to 285. And I'm sure, you know, with Cobb, it's the same thing. We can continue to go because it's ultimately flexible to add another station. And when Gwinnett gets more rapid transit lines going up their way, she's smart. She knows. This is, you know, may not go into Gwinnett, but it's going to connect to Gwinnett in her time. And so, you know, if I leave Fulton out, he's going to say something.
Please don't.
So, but you know, the core, the center, the glue, Fulton County, and Sandy Springs. So I do need to you know say personal thanks to the mayors, the ones that were there at the very beginning. Mayor Shortle of Dunwoody, Mayor Bacon of Smyrna, Mayor Pittman of Doraville, and of course Mayor Clarkston of Chamblee. But not just them, they were the first meetings, but the following mayors that took up the mantle. Frank Alman, who's here today, came on right after he, you know, created a city. Once he got that done. Mayor Norton from Smyrna, as mentioned before, integral into it. In fact, Mayor Bacon said, I'm not going to be around here too much longer. Mayor Pro Tem Norton, you come out and do these meetings. Rusty Paul. Without having Rusty Paul there, keeping us grounded, keeping us connected with that Fulton County's piece, that would inform not only top end, but 400, guys, because as we know, this is just one project, but it connects, you know, we'll connect up to 400. Mayor Geigerman in Doraville, Mayor Deutsch of Dunwoody, and Mayor Mock now of Chamblee. Too often, politics has gotten in the way of progress, but not today. We could have all seen and done what leaders may have done in the past. Only worry about my area. Now look at anyone else. And it is through the mayors, through these great leaders over here, through these great leaders over to the left of me, I think we're finally going to the state, the county, local leadership in this room that we're going to be able to deliver clean, efficient, accessible transportation, well-paying jobs, economic activity, equitable investment throughout this entire region, and it's going to inform the rest of it. So I know that my great-grandkid, or my great-great-grandkid, in 100 years or so, is going to look at a picture of today and they see what change can occur, what you can do with just some two simple questions. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Abel. I'm the Vice Chair of the State Transportation Board, the GDOT Board. I am excited, extremely excited about the opportunity for regional transit in Metro Atlanta. Just last week, everyone sitting at the table here, the signatories of this MOU, were in Austin. We were in Austin, and we learned about the successful referendum that Austin passed to fund $7.1 billion for regional transit. Today, in Atlanta, we're excited to celebrate a major, major step forward for regional transit enhancement in metropolitan Atlanta. We all know that the top end of 285 is one of the most congested interstates in the country. It serves 240,000 vehicles every single business day. The 285 Express Lane project that we're embarking upon is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to have Express Lane Transit, or ELT, as we will be referring to it for the years to come. I'm channeling Russell McMurray here. This ELT route, regional route, is a connectivity that doesn't exist today. GDOT is working closely as this project proceeds and develops. We're working closely with the developers who are likely to be the proposers on this project and making sure that they're aware of and can be responsive to this transit vision, a critical part of making this all happen. Look, I'm speaking to the choir over here. Express lane transit must happen on the 285 top end and around east and west. And this express lane project that we're embarking upon is a catalyst. It's a catalyst that allows this to happen, for us to take this opportunity and make this vision a reality. GDOT is excited and proud to be a part of this process. Thanks very much.
Morning, everyone. Colleague Greenwood, Interim General Manager and CEO at MARTA. I just wanted to, first of all, I wanted to begin by asking a question. Mayor Ernst said, he started thinking about this thing in a series of questions, and the question that came to me when I started thinking about what we're doing here as we city build, as we region build, as we bring together opportunities for everyone involved. So we're building something. And you think back to, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, when you built a house, you built the structure, you built the walls, you had the roof. You didn't necessarily have all the infrastructure in a house back then as you do today. And so the question is, would you build a house today that didn't have plumbing and running water? And I know I'm speaking to the converted in this room. We know everything is done by design, and it's a collective experience, and the way to do things properly is to measure twice, cut once, think about it, collaborate. We know all of that. But I would say to you that there are still those out there that would build that house today without the plumbing required for a fortuitous and productive, future, vibrant region. And so as we start to talk about what we've conceived of together, and I'm so impressed with what I've heard about how much has gone into the collaboration of what's happening today. So together we've collectively conceived of this and given birth to this child, and the job's not done. We're going to have to raise this child in an area where there are a lot of people that are supporting it, and there are a lot of people that are still wondering if this is the right thing to do. And notwithstanding the fact that that's the best advertising you could ever have for high-capacity transit. And this is just something two-dimensional on screen. When it's actually running and everyone else is waiting, that'll be the news for the unconverted in terms of whether or not this is the right thing to do. But to me, what this day represents is, I heard Chair Pitts say that, this is one of the penultimate moments in the region. And it also, to me, signifies the start of a demonstration of what happens when all these people get together with intent, and all these people that really want the best for the region. And as this child grows and makes its way through the streets, we're going to have to come back together and course correct, right? And make sure that the intent that we had behind raising this vision remains together. But I have no doubt that the energy and the support and the excitement that's in this room will continue for years to come. And let me say this too, working at MARTA for the time I have, what excites me is the level of support that MARTA gets from its board members. And no shortage of board members here today: Rod Frierson, Rita Scott, Frida Hardage, Jim Durrett, Bill Floyd, and of course Chris Tomlinson for his time on the board. They really do help us gauge the level of excitement, the level of intentionality that we need to bring to bear on our projects. And this, I can say without a doubt, is one that MARTA is 100% excited about. We look forward to serving in all the capacities that we will be required to make sure that this child makes us proud for years and years to come. So, I'll close with the thought that, I don't have the tenure in the region that everyone else speaks with, but what I do have is an experience about transit on a macro level. So when you think about the transit industry, it's unique in that a problem in New York is a problem in Atlanta, is a problem in Toronto, and the transit industry understands that we work together. We're not competing with each other. We're always collaborating because we understand that a better transit product on one end of the country or the continent is a better transit product and a better opinion of transit all around the area and all around the country. So on a micro level, that's exactly what we're doing here. We're creating and unlocking opportunity for one area of the region that is going to exponentially improve access everywhere else. It's access to and from, and it's really going to create economic development and something to point at and aspire to for everyone else. So the better we do here, the better transit does, the better the region does, and I'm just happy to partner with you all. So thank you very much.
Well, again, thank you all for taking the time out. Thank you for helping us end on time, because there's also an Atlanta Regional Commission board meeting that's about to start at 10:30. Again, on behalf of the ATL, my board members, my staff, it is truly an honor to be able to work with all of you to bring us to a day that is a long time coming. And for me and for my staff and my colleagues at all the agencies and GDOT, this is so important, because this is not only where we work, this is where we live. And so thank you for all your efforts, both now and into the future on this project. Thank you, and have a good morning, everyone.